Subtle skills, big results.
Welcome to the Ninja Selling Podcast.
Hey everyone, it's your good friend Eric Thompson. This is the Ninja Selling Podcast. Thank you once again for listening, for tuning in, for engaging. We are grateful for that. Today, yet again, is another amazing interview with an amazing ninja. It is my honor to introduce, I'm excited to let everyone get to know Alan Siegler. Alan, welcome to the Ninja Selling Podcast.
Thank you, Eric. It feels awesome to be here. I've listened to this introduction many times, and so I'm grateful to say hello back to you live.
Yes, absolutely. You said that you're an avid listener.
Oh, yeah.
Of the podcast. We appreciate that. And you're also one of our Ninja Coaching members. We greatly appreciate that. You work with Barb Medina, the one and only, the amazing Barb. Barb Medina is a Ninja Coach, and you've been working with her for several months. We're going to talk about that. Alan, you are with Greater Athens Properties in Georgia. So everyone look him up when it's time to send him a handwritten note to thank him for today. You can do that. You can find Alan in Athens with Greater Athens Properties. Okay, here's where we're headed today, everyone. Here's what we're going to hear from Alan about. This is the big takeaway today. This is how to take the lid off. Alan, you took your lid off. You are in the process of taking your lid off. The lid is coming off as we speak. And so Alan's going to take us through what he is doing to take his lid off. Specifically, what's happening for Alan is that so far this year in 2025, he is in 4 months, he closed what he closed all of 2024. So you have done 12 months of production in 4 months and plenty more where that came from. You are more than double what you did last year. How did you do that will be the theme for today, Alan. And let's start with your story, because this is a great story. It's a really interesting story about how you got into real estate and also how you got introduced to Ninja. It's all kind of one of the same. It was an interesting time of your life. So Alan, take us through that.
Yeah, that's what a great setup, Eric. So we had always loved travel, and we had the opportunity to purchase a travel agency that had been around for 30 years. And so we purchased an agency, and we love cruising. And so the travel agency that we ran specialized in cruise vacations.
And when was that? When did you purchase that
We
travel
purchased
agency?
it 2017.
2017.
16,
Okay.
17. Yep.
Okay.
So, man, we were loving it. It's another day in paradise. That's what we thought every day, and loving our agency, going on cruises, hosting escorted cruises with clients, a lot of group trips, just fantastic. And then comes 2020.
Right. We were all waiting for the until, and we all knew what it was going to be, right? We all did when we heard 2017. I could hear the Ninja Nation collectively saying, "Uh-oh, yeah, oh my gosh, along comes COVID."
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, what was that like?
So the short version is that in the course of from April to September of 2020, we canceled about $4.3 million of cruise vacations, which equates to about $600,000 of our income. Just
wow.
And so what's interesting is I'd always wanted to get into real estate. I'd always wanted to get my license. Just we were busy and really didn't have time to do it. Let me rephrase that. We didn't make the time for me to get my license because life was pretty comfortable and easy, and we loved what we did. But when COVID came and we, cruising stopped. I mean, completely stopped. There was a halt on cruising, and you don't get paid a commission in the travel agency world until like final payment happens and or they sell. And so you could work and sell cruises today while COVID's happening. Hey, let's rebook for next year, but you're not going to see that income until next year or pretty close to the cruise departure date. So there's a really tough situation where it's like, okay, we can do all this work and rebook all this business, but that's not going to pay the bills today, tomorrow, next month, the next month. I mean, cruising has stopped. You cannot cruise. And it was about a year cruising stopped. And so I just kind of thought, well, Lord, I wanted to do this. I think I have the time now. I have nothing to do. So I called a few people that I just highly respected in the real estate world. And the same call was to all of them. Hey, you might recall we had an agency, would love to get my license. Now's a great time to get it. Do you think I should do it? And I called 3 people, and all 3 of them said, yes, you absolutely should get your license, and call me when you do. One of the 3, though, she said, yes, you should get your license. In fact, if you're going to do it, why don't you start helping? I'll start paying you. Like, you just start learning. And, I didn't have anything to do anyway. So I'm like, shoot, this is great. I can start learning and watching. And she's crushing it. I mean, she's lots of transactions. So what a great way to learn and see, all sorts of transactions happening. And so I got my license in August of 2020.
And while you're getting your license, you're basically being an unlicensed assistant to a realtor who's really productive. So you're learning the ropes, so to speak, and getting your license at the same time. What a great scenario, great situation.
Oh, it's fantastic.
And you told me that was a ninja company.
Based out of Augusta, where I'm from. So I was driving back to Augusta to shadow with this agent, and it was Blanchard and Calhoun. They actually hosted a ninja installation at the company. And so got my license, started learning. And from day one, the managing broker at that location, he said, hey, look, here's Ninja. Here's the audio recordings, from the installation that we had. And here's a book. You're welcome to listen through it. Because I was my one hesitation about getting my license, Eric, was I'm not going to call someone and say, hey, we're having a contest. Anyone looking to buy or sell real estate? We're raffling off a Weber grill. I'm not going to do it. And so I said, well, he gave me a system to follow. And I remember sitting on the front porch of our house, listening through day 1, day 2, day 3 of the installation. And I thought immediately, okay, Lord, this is me. This is my style. This is perfect. So from day 1, went through the installation on my front porch, thanks to Don Tennyson being physically present at the brokerage and it being recorded. And so, yeah, I learned about Ninja from day 1, and I'm a big believer that coaching gets you further faster. And so thankfully, although we had lost really everything, I mean, we had to sell a rental property, our only rental property, just to make it through. But I knew that my best odds of getting back to where we were at some degree was going to be investing in a coach. And so from day 1, invested in a Ninja coach. And so I'm grateful that Ninja was really from the beginning.
Yes, that's fantastic. I love that you were introduced to Ninja from day 1. A lot of people have to relearn. They have to say deinstall some habits or deinstall methods, approaches, and mindsets. But for you had it from day 1. You found that it really aligned with your personal values. So we talked about at the beginning. You have done so far in 4 months this year what you did all of last year. So the 4 months of this year started with a pretty important moment for you, which was you attending another installation. You attended an installation in February, which was kind of the culmination of a transition period. You had another job while you were also doing real estate. You would stop coaching and you were kind of in this transition, right? So walk us through that transition period, and then the decision that you made, the commitment that you made, say in February, March of this year.
So between getting licensed in August of 20 and this year, the short version is that I had a coach. Things were great. My first year, brand new realtor, did just over 100,000 in GCI, like 105 GCI, which is fantastic. I mean, that's great. However, it was, being a new agent, learning Ninja, it was not every single month, and feeling the pressure of, the economic situation and providing, not really trusting the system. Yeah, I'm new. I'm told it worked. It sounds great. Getting started up around that same time frame came an opportunity to go work for a cruise line for corporate. And what I heard was, oh wow, direct deposit every 2 weeks and a company car, and I've got freedom and flexibility, and I'm going to own a territory. Because I struggled a lot with abundance and scarcity. In fact, my coach would send me on abundance walks. Say, okay, go look for this or that. And it was fantastic. So while I ended the year, every year, great, it was just not really sticking to the system and not head down, thinking, okay, I'm going to do the activities, the 20%. And so I took the job with the cruise line. And really, it's kind of ironic as I look back now, in the moment, it's like, this is great. This is solving some of the abundant scarcity. I have a direct paycheck coming in. But what it really did is it really put the lid on, because now saying, okay, I'm all in, I look back thinking, wow, that was so short-sighted, because that was a very temporary thing. Now, did I love the job and the people and my bosses? Oh, it's fantastic. But it also took me out of relationship. It took me out of flow. It took me, I mean, it was on the road. And so, looking back, it's that was the lid. The short win of a direct deposit really wasn't a long-term win in that sense. Along the way, fast forward to kind of late last year, October, November, I start thinking, and I'd been through several installations. The audio version, I made it a goal to attend an installation every year since getting licensed to keep me motivated on track. And I agreed to not give up on real estate while I was working a full-time job. And so that was great. But at the end of last year, it's like, okay, one of the videos in the Ninja installation is take the lid off your jar. It's a Steve Harvey video. I've seen it over and over. But anyone who's listening who's been to multiple installations, the reason you keep going is because something's going to hit different. You're going to hear something different. You need something now that you didn't need then. You are not ready for what you heard then like you are now. I mean, so many reasons. And it hit me, and I thought, I look at my wife and my kids, and I'm like, what am I doing? Like, the lid is on the jar, and I am settling for mediocrity. What I'm earning is great in terms of, comparison set to friends and all, but this is the lid on the jar. I'm sacrificing, and my wife and kids, like, they deserve more from me. And I have a system that lights me up. I'm on fire when I'm in flow. Like, I'm in the high positive, like 24/7. And I'm not when I'm hotel to hotel, like in a territory. And so I just made the decision that it is time to do that. And I'm going to go to an installation, and I'm going to go all in on real estate. So,
So this is coming up for you, these thoughts at the end of 2024.
yes.
So these are not happening for you in the installation that you were at in February, but this is all leading up to the installation that you attended in February. But you're just processing all this. You're saying, while sure it was nice, it was comfortable to get that paycheck. By the way, it's very natural, normal that you would want that, and you were finding that ultimately what that was a sacrifice. It was a compromise. It was the lid back in the jar, and there you were at the end of 24 saying, "No, this lid is coming off the jar."
Yeah. In fact, I started telling some of my closest friends, because I was still doing lunches and coffees, many components of the Ninja 9, all along, which kept me still earning, in the real estate side of things, over 100,000 in GCI, while still having the full. I mean, it was like, wow, I stoked the fire. I had a coach early on, and now the residual from this is just happening. I mean, I still had some autoflow ish happening, so there were still results, a harvest still from the seeds planted. I realized that, okay, I'm gonna start telling people, and my affirmation at the time was, I enjoy being a full-time realtor by March 2025 or sooner. And so I would write that. So then I started telling my closest friends, like, hey, I'm gonna be full-time by March or sooner. I will be full-time in real estate. Mark my words. And I had a couple lunches with my broker, owner of our brokerage. And I told Bob, I said, hey man, just telling you, I'm gonna be full-time by March or sooner. And so I just started telling everybody, because I don't want to be embarrassed. And if people say, hey, what happened? Well, I failed. Who wants to say that? So I just started telling some of my closest friends. And by December, it's like, okay, this is going to happen. So then I decided, okay, I'm going to register for the installation February 17th. And I'm going to work this out to where my notice goes in and there's no turning back. So I paid for the installation. It's my fourth installation. And registered, paid, and I registered for the installation before I put in my notice. And I was like, well, I'm going to Nashville, so time to put in the notice.
So when did you put in the notice?
Early February.
Early February. So roughly 2 weeks before the installation, you give your 2-week notice. You were all in, and
I mean, really all in.
yeah, you were 100% full on, and while you got a lot of benefit and you had success when you first started, you had a great first year, like you said, you were admittedly not 100% full on,
Yeah.
and you got yourself 100% full on, and there was no going back. And I just want to share with everyone listening that this story is so similar to the other stories that we hear in the podcast, or other stories that I hear when I'm interviewing ninjas having the kind of results that Alan is having. It always starts with a decision. And it's such a similar phrase that's used in these interviews, which is, you know what? I just decided. I decided it was time. I decided that I was going to take the lid off. I decided I was going to commit. I decided I was going to be all in. And so that, Alan, that's what was happening for you. So, oh my gosh. So there you are. You show up for the installation. A lot of people have these revelations during, but you show up already in the high positive quadrant, just ready to go, chomping at the
Yeah.
bit, which must have made for an amazing installation.
Oh, it was great. It was great. It was great to be there knowing that I just invested in myself in the biggest way. And that, while in being short-sighted, a quote unquote paycheck, a direct deposit every 2 weeks, goodness, that is not at all abundance. That's scarcity. Like the reason I, was doing it was scarcity. Now I had a lot of fun in the job. I mean, it's great. So many great things, great people, but it was really, I took it because of a scarcity mindset. And finally, it was like, my family deserves way more. I deserve more. My community, my friends deserve more. I'm out of flow with. I can't say yes when our church needs me to run sound because I've got a job. Got to go to work, and so it's just no. This is it. It is time. Like it's, and I know the system works. That everyone says it. I mean, I was
And you
experiencing
had
myself.
experienced it. You knew
Yeah.
firsthand.
So it's like, okay, it's a me issue. There is plenty of business out there. I don't care what the market is. I don't care. It's just time to do it.
So it was at that installation that you met your coach, Barb Medina. I started working with her soon after. And so as all the listeners know, there are three keys to success: mindset, skill set, action. So the way that this podcast was outlined and organized ahead of time, it's really mindset, skill set, action. So this first part, Alan, has been all about your mindset and your mindset transition, your mindset evolution, kind of where you went from and where you are now. And then now we'll get more tactical. We'll talk about some skill sets and actions, and we're going to get into. So how did you do, and how have you done in 4 months what you did all of last year? And we'll share the numbers behind that, Alan. So if it's okay, you told me that
Yeah.
last year you earned, so last year meaning 2024, you earned $140,000 of income, gross commission income. This year so far, and so what we're counting is March through the end of July,
Yeah.
right? And because that's when you made the decision. So in that time frame, you have closed 166,000. So you've more than exceeded what you did last year already and closed. And as we sit here today recording this, you have another 130,000 pending that will close this year. So what that means is you will more than double last year. And it was you went all in and you went full on. But these results are, it's more than just the fact that you work real estate full time. This is about more than hours, right? Like
Yeah.
you're doing some things that are really working for you. So like we can already get from you that like your focus changed, your commitment changed. But like if we knew you then in 2024 and now we're watching you now in 25, what would we notice that's different? So what are the things that you're doing now that really work, and also what are some things maybe that you stopped doing that you were doing before that didn't work as well? Can you take us through that?
I mean, spoiler alert, the Ninja 9.
I knew you were going to say that.
No, I will say what you will see me doing now is I love lunches and coffees. Live flow, man, that is just that is awesome. It's almost selfish. I was telling Barb not too long ago. I said, Barb, this is a cycle. I know you've seen this. you're going to see on my weekly meeting agenda, thank God for that, that 4, 5, 6 lunches and coffees, 50 plus live forward, live flow, forward and record. And then the next, in about 2 weeks, you're going to see that I'm saying, gosh, I need to slow down. This is a lot. But then I slow down, but I'm not going to slow down because I love it. And I feel selfish because it's like, this fuels me. I mean, getting to have the lunches and coffee. So that's what immediately comes to mind is live flow, specifically in person.
How many lunches and coffees per week?
I'm naturally, well, 4 to 6.
4 to 6.
Yeah, that's pretty normal.
Do you do it where you have coffees and lunches on set days at set times? Like, do you time block those in advance, and where that say every Tuesday, Thursday you try to have a lunch, or is it or does it happen more organically?
That's a great question. In fact, this morning as I was getting ready, I added to my barb list to talk through that. Initially, yes, I had like, okay, Monday is a planning day. It's preparing for my Tuesday check-in calls or client service calls, customer service calls. Monday's a prep planning day. I'm not going to do it then. I had this beautiful, like this perfect, in theory, time block. I mean, it looked beautiful here. And I was going to do I had the 2 lunches and coffees. And if it gets wild and crazy, I have room for 1 more or maybe 2 more only in the afternoons. And in practice, it's like, man, bump that. I'm lunches and coffees, I'm making room for those because one, selfishly, it fuels me and it keeps me in a high positive all day long. But two, it works. And it's funny, I'll hear friends of mine who'll say, well, I don't know how to write a note card to, or I don't know how to. And to me, it's really clear. Well, you're not in flow because if 4 to 6 lunches and coffees a week, and then the client service calls and hour power, man, I've got a list of that I can't get to, note cards and things. So yeah, 4 to 6, not really time blocked. Originally it was, and I'm probably gonna move back to something like that to where, it's more sustainable for the long term. Thanks to a coach, she has that wisdom and foresight where hey, this is great. It's working. Let's keep it working and keep you fueled for longer.
Yeah, let's turn it into a system.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and make it more predictable. You said that you are really good about having your 50 live interviews, forward and record, pretty much every week. So how are those occurring in addition to the coffees and lunches? And I'm sure thinking, well, wait a minute. So that's 4 to 6 of the 50. How
yeah,
is he having those others? How do the other ones come up in it?
yeah.
So also client service calls, you would say. But yeah, what else?
But, and this is actually answering your current question and the last question of what does it look like, now versus 2024. But because I've decided to take the lid off and go all in and commit, I'm able to go deeper. And so what that means for me is at our church. So I love sound production, audiovisual, and I'll run sound and all that for our church. And so now I can volunteer a lot more. When there are random needs, I can, yep, I can do that. I'll be there. We're back in our, Sunday school small group. And so just a lot more plugged in. And honestly, I mean, on a Sunday, and I'm just going to say this, judge away, no judge, it doesn't matter. This is the truth. But if there's a morning where I think, oh man, I'm kind of tired, I'm not really feeling church this morning, I just want to sleep in. To be completely honest, I think, no, man, there's like 15 live forward conversations there to be had. And I know that when I get there, I'll be so grateful because of the live interaction. I'll be on fire. Like, in fact, my wife will be with the kids like, babe, come on. Like, we got to get them down for a nap. So for me, it's there, small group, church, serving more. That really helps a lot.
Yeah, so you have so much freedom in your schedule. You're able to step up and volunteer and give back, which you love. That fills you up, and turns out you're having a lot of live interactions. So between your coffees and lunches, your client service calls, your volunteering, your church activity, the 50 are just happening.
Yeah, absolutely.
Got it. Okay, so we keep going on what would we notice that's different? How does someone go from earning 140,000 in an entire year to earning over? I mean, you're on pace for over 300, well over 300 this year. Tell us more about what you're doing and not doing.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's funny that I think to the installation, the stop doing list. I think what's been really helpful, Barb, I know you're going to listen to this, so thank you. I think about having her as a coach. And one of the things that has been so helpful, and this really ties to the stop doing list and what I'm not doing, she has really helped me to stay authentic to myself. And so, shocker to everyone listening, but as a realtor, there are so many shiny things out there and distractions and so many calls. And oh, do you need a health insurance quote? And what about this lead gen thing and that? And so, thankfully, because I'm such a believer in the system, I know if I just do the Ninja 9, there will be an abundance, an abundance. In fact, I've had to increase more hours to my assistant just to manage and keep, really keeping her on e-time stuff so that I can, be in the hot positive because I get to do the P&I time. And so the stop doing has just been any distraction that's not in the business plan. Ninja, you guys do such a great job of being intentional with the Ninja community of planning before the year shows up of what the year's going to be. And what's really easy to me is when I do that plan, I'm in the mindset where abundance, gratitude, wow, this works. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to double down on this. I'm going to stop doing that. And so when I get a call or an opportunity, it's really easy to say, "Oh, Eric, that sounds awesome, but that's just not in this year's business plan." And that's it. I mean, that's where it ends. And then on top of that, when I think of things that are in the plan, events, live flow, the ideas, maybe something didn't work out. We were going to do a bounce house event in the summer. Everyone in town says, "Oh, Alan, you're so bougie." And yes, I'll take that. So for me, on brand is a bounce house event because we have kids. So everything that we do is our life focused. And we were going to have everybody come in inside and do the bounce house because who wants to be in the summer heat in Georgia? And it didn't work out. So we looked at changing it. And I was pitching some ideas to Barb, like, "Hey, what do you think about this? What about, I wanted to do this fall event, but I'm thinking maybe not." And she said, "Well, tell me more about that, and tell me more about the fall event." And as I'm telling her about it, I come to life. And she said, "Do you think you should do the fall?" "Yep, I should do the fall event." So her keeping me authentic and on plan, honestly, as silly as that sounds, that is a huge, huge help.
Yeah, not silly at all. Not silly at all. The best flow is authentic flow. So all that everyone can tell listening, the things that you're taking us through that you do, fully authentic to you.
Yeah.
And how often do those distractions come along? Those shiny objects that on the surface look good. Hey, we have this lead generation thing, or you can whatever send these cold emails or these postcards or whatever, and it can be tempting to go down that path.
Yeah.
So what Barb has kept you from doing that. And so for everyone, keep yourself from doing that, and just think about, okay, is that authentically me? Does that feel like me? Does that sound like me? Does that look like me for me to do that? If not, I'm going to go back to what's authentic. And you always fall back to your plan. I love that as a way to say no to the shiny object and just say, you know what? It's not in my plan this year. I can't do that. Yeah. And you just go back to what works.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting too. It's what's wild to me, and I've kind of tested the waters, and I think, no, 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 I'm a ninja. I have a plan, I have a system, and I come back home, and I know it works so well to where it drives me wild when I see other people doing all these other things, but yet don't have a warm or a hot list. Is like, okay, get in the live flow, and that will build your warm and hot list. And if you just do that, th- you don't need anything else. And the type of business that will be generated by relationship business, it's just no comparison, in my opinion. And so I think the stop doing it, it's all those things, and the start doing is live flow, live flow, live flow, because it builds the warm list, which then goes to the hot, maybe confused back to hot, and then pending and then closed. And then it just, yeah, it's wild to me. So
Yeah, next thing you know, you're earning over 300,000
yeah,
in a year. Yeah.
exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Alan, you told me that something else that works for you is your autoflow. People are always curious about that. What's something that is working for autoflow? So take us through what you do for that.
Yeah, so I love autoflow. In fact, Izzy and I, my assistant, we sit down every other Monday. Although here it's been every Monday lately because it's thank the good Lord and thank Ninja, the group, Larry, all of you coaching that we have a system that works, TSW. Things have been busy, and so we're meeting every Monday. And one of the things that we meet and we talk about is the autoflow. I mean, it is so much fun to talk about the autoflow. So for me, I have not come around to the idea of just emailing everybody because I have their emails. I have chosen to do the postcards. So every 10 days, a postcard goes out, but it's all on brand. I mean, it is on brand. And so my mission's on there. One of the funniest things is one of my buddies, he texted me during Christmas time because, of course, I had the Hallmark Christmas movie schedule because I love Hallmark Christmas movies. And it was, here's the schedule of the Hallmark Christmas movies. And he texted and said, hey, I need your man card next time at church. I see you. How are you sending this out? And so they're all on brand. And we just had one go out of our vendors, our preferred vendors. And people texting me pictures of it on their refrigerators like, dude, this is awesome. Thanks so much. And so I love the postcards. And so that is for me, the autoflow.
Every 10 days.
Yeah,
Like,
every 10 days.
a postcard goes to how many people?
So my database is 251 households, and I know them, they know me, I like them, I actually want to know them more or do business with them. And I would say, I think we're at 195 of those are addresses. So 195 households are getting my postcard every 10 days.
Okay, got it. Alan, what's the average price in your market? And for you
So
personally?
for me, my average price is 466,000, and our market, I think, is like 550 or something.
Yeah, got it. So as you were going through those numbers, I was doing the math in my head, and I was guessing that you were going to say your average price was about 500, given that your income and how many people receive that postcard. So it's following the formula that we talk about all the time. So a reminder, everyone listening, that it works. That formula works. Every person in your database has a value, as long as you're in flow with them. So you are in flow. Every 10 days, a postcard goes out. It sounds like a mixture between art and science. It sounds like you and your assistant game plan those out several weeks in advance, what's going to go on the postcard. And
What's really cool about it, Eric, is I was having lunch with a good friend, and he said, "Man, I love your postcards." And on my postcards, I have like a scripture each postcard, and something or a quote. It's just on brand. It's front and back. It's me. And he said, "Man, I just love that." And he said, "I particularly love your just solds." And because I put what did it list for? What did it sell for? Basically, what's going to be of value, not just Alan sold another one, thank you for another commission check. It's like, what did it list for? What did it sell for? Any features, square footage. And he said, we were at lunch, and he said, it'd be really awesome is if you put the days on market. So add that feature to it. And I just thought that was a huge win, that someone that I'm friends with sees the value, looks at them, and then made a recommendation to add one more piece of information that's a value. So
isn't that great?
I love the postcards, and huge thanks to Jane O'Neill. She shared with me her person out in California that prints them, and so it's easy. It makes it really simple, and I love autoflow.
Share that company, because I'm sure people are wondering. So again, this is
So vertical printing.
Vertical printing. This is a printing company. They handle. Do they do the design of the postcards too?
So they did early on, and now that I have an assistant, we'll design them. But beforehand, she would design them and send them back and say, "This looks great, and done is better than perfect. Let's get it out." And then they print it, mail it, literally do nothing. I used to time block, an hour a month, and would knock them out. And it's just nice because I used to feel guilty that, oh man, I'd look through the warm list or something, think, oh man, I haven't talked to Eric in a while. And knowing that autoflow is going out, it's just that little reassurance that it's okay. I'm going to add Eric to my calls list, and I'm going to call him, but he hasn't forgotten about me because he's on autoflow.
Good. Yeah. Yeah. It's value add. It's art and science.
Yeah.
It completely works. So Alan, I'll announce soon to all the Ninja Coaching members, but in October, we're going to host an event inside Ninja Coaching community called Autoflow Palooza.
Nice.
Full of examples of autoflow that's working. So I'm going to reach out to you to
Please do.
To look for examples of those. That'll be fun. So, okay, Alan, let's finish with this. So you're having this great success. You're also clearly a family man. You have 2 younger kids. How? Tell us about your schedule. Are you people wonder at this level of production, well, he must be working 24/7 and all hours of the night and all weekend. And tell us how you've set up your schedule.
I mean, I would say the main reason I love Ninja is it's like you can have the high production and have the great life, what you love and what you value. And so my normal schedule is I'll take my son to school and I'm in the office by 7:30, 7:45, and right then knock out my Ninja morning routine. I do my morning routine, my daily 5, right then, knock out note cards and all that. And then really it's if there's a time block, paperwork cleanup, hour power, I'll do that. Kind of crazy, but that's really about it. And then my new rule is that I love to work. So I could find myself at my office all the time. So my new rule is that if it's 11 and I'm done with my time blocks, I'm going home. Like we're gonna go lay by the pool, go have a great time, because there are gonna be the days where I have an appointment, a pre-listing, call or a listing consultation or buyer consultation that's after hours. So I'm grateful for my wife that we all agree that this is an ebb and flow, and I'm completely okay to work at 6 o'clock one night because I was home all day the previous day. So I have way more time with my family than I've ever had, and I'm really grateful. So my new rule is when I'm done with my morning routine, got through my time blocks because I stack those in the morning. If there's not a lunch or a coffee or a client meeting, I go home.
Yeah, that's great. You're in charge of your schedule. You're in charge of your routine. You're on purpose about it. There's a lot of intention. I hope that people heard all the intention that was embedded there as you were talking about that. And you don't let your schedule run you. You run it. You're in charge of it. And you work. It's a classic. You're working on your business in the morning, and you do that every day. You're committed to that. And then you might be working in your business in the afternoon, or you might be working on your, I don't know, on your swimming or working on your tan at the pool, whatever.
Really, it's getting this farmer's tan gone, Eric.
Yeah, I got it.
If we're talking honestly here.
Yeah, got it.
Yeah.
Got it. It's fantastic. Okay. As we get ready to close up, Alan, anything you would share in parting, any last advice, anything else come up for you that you think would help out the ninjas?
Yes, I would say as I reflect on the year and the years and where I'm at now, and I say this to myself as well, because it's easy to get off track and get distracted. But the two things that just come to mind are that, and I promise everyone listening, Eric did not ask me to say this. We have not even talked about this, but I would say hire a ninja coach. That accountability week after week after week is just gold. And it is an investment that pays off so much. Thank you, Barb. But then the other thing is all we need is the Ninja 9. Like the Ninja 9, the system works. And it's almost like the minute I've said, I'm not going to do anything unless it's in this Ninja 9 in my Ninja Planner. If it's there, I'm going to do it. If it's not, I'm not doing it. It's like my life got better and things became easier. And it's really clear. I have a process, I have a system, and things just fall into it. And if I don't have an appointment, I go home and live the life that I've been dreaming about that we're getting to build. So I'm so grateful for Ninja. TSW, TSW, TSW.
TSW, absolutely. Alan, we are grateful for you. Everything you shared today, everything you do for the Ninja Nation, we're just so grateful. Can't thank you enough for what you shared, for your time today. Everyone reach out to Alan. So it's Allen, Siegler, Seigler. He's in Georgia, Greater Athens Properties. Send him a note, send him an email, send him a text, send him a note. A note would be better. A note would be more ninja to thank him. Alan, thank you. Thank you again.
Thank you, Eric. Thanks so much.
Yeah, our pleasure. Everyone, thank you for listening. As always, we appreciate it. And we look forward to seeing you in the next podcast. Take care.
If you enjoyed this episode, visit us at theninjasellingpodcast.com to learn more about ninja selling classes and coaching to get you started or further your journey on the ninja path.
Thank you for joining us. Now go have an incredible day.